Today I'll be taking a look at the Frontline Chaos Wawa hacker. Previously this figure was known as the Candyfrog hacker, but it looks like they changed the name, probably because Wawa takes up less space on the box than Candyfrog hacker. But regardless of the reason that they changed it, this is known as the Wawa hacker or Candyfrog hacker figure, newest figure from Frontline Chaos, and I received this yesterday from Big Bad Toy Store, so you can pick it up there. It's still there. $100. Most of these figures in the line are going to be $100 a pop, although it seems like the next one coming out, I think that one is the deer figure, that one is like $104.99. so it's going up a little bit. Not sure why, but that is the case with these figures. They're about $100 a pop, and that's something that I have a problem with. I'll get into that a little bit more later. Before we get into this figure though, I do want to do a quick recap of the previous figures in the line. So the first one was the Rin Sniper. This is what the box looked like, and if you want to see a review of this figure and the other figures in the line, you can go on my channel and look for them. So that was the first one, the Rin Sniper. The second one was the Lai Mechanic, and then the third one was the Hana Maid. This is probably still my favorite box. That's one thing I do appreciate about this line, is that the boxes are actually cool to look at, so that's kind of a bonus, you know, that doesn't really justify the $100 price. And I did play with the figure a little bit, not a whole lot, and there was already some problems that I started noticing. So the packaging is just the same as the rest of the figures. You get a package of salt, and then you get the actual figure with all the accessories, and there's a second foam tray behind this. That's why the box is so big, because there's a second foam tray there which has the rest of the accessories, and we'll get into that in a second. So looking at the face, you know, closer, just like the rest of the figures in the line, they pulled off the face very well. The paint is really good, especially in the hair. I like the color of the hair, and you know, the eyes are glossy, which is nice, which is also nice that they added that detail. And they have the green hair ties or something. Now the first thing I did notice was that this pigtail is a little loose. This one's a little bit more firm, but this one is definitely a lot looser. So you guys, if you are going to get this figure, you got to watch out for that, so that it doesn't break off. Then the jacket of the figure, it's a thin material, so another thing you got to watch out for. But it does feel pretty sturdy. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart or flake, so that's good. The denim shorts are also kind of a thin material, but it does look good. Now the second problem is that they're trying to go for something. They're using a different method of connecting the pants together. Previously they used a button, a plastic button, and one of the shirts that used that on the mechanic figure, it actually broke on mine. So the peg broke off into the hole on the other part of the button. So that's unfortunate. Not a very good system. Maybe that's why they're trying to go for a different system of connecting the pants. This time it's like a metal hook or something. It's a cheap feeling metal. It's not a very high quality metal, but it's like a metal hook that's supposed to hook onto this other part here. And I can't get it to work very well. It doesn't actually hook through, and I'll probably end up breaking that if I try to force it through. So for the meantime, it's just going to be unhooked there, and it's going to look kind of weird. So that is a problem that you do have to be aware of, and you got to deal with it however you want to deal with it. Next thing, the socks. So in the promotional images, the socks are kind of at this point. You can pull them up for a different effect. You can pull them all the way down for another sort of display option. You know, that's up to you. It is kind of a stretchy material, so you know, you can also take it off, put it on another figure, put something else on the legs or whatever you want. So a lot of variability with that. The shoes, kind of reminding of Buzz Lightyear a little bit. I don't know, you guys let me know if that reminds you of Buzz Lightyear, but to me it reminds me of Buzz Lightyear, so I had to mention that. But they're pretty cool. You can see a heart right there on the tongue of the shoe, and the details are pretty good. The paint does kind of miss the mark in some places, but for the most part it is good, and when it's standing on a shelf or when you're taking pictures of it, it's not as noticeable. So the actual design of the figure is good. The way that the figure is put together is also good, although there's one problem with the articulation. The body itself is fine. The problem is with this knee here. It's really loose, and that's because it easily comes unpegged there. So I'm not sure how to fix that. I'd have to like heat it up, because as soon as you move it, it comes unpegged and then it's loose again. It doesn't hold up the weight of the figure like this one does. As you can see, the figure's not falling over, but this one, the figure just, after slightly moving it. So that is a problem. We don't have the issue with the elbows like we did with the first figure. And by the way, when I show off the previous figures that came out, they're going to have different clothes on them or different stuff on them. If you want to see how the figures originally looked when they came out, like right out of the box, go check out my videos on them, and you can see me reviewing them right out of the box. And so this one had the problem with the elbow, where the elbow is really loose. Like, it's not even holding, it can't hold it when you bend it, if you get what I'm saying. And this one, the jacket doesn't push the arm back there because it has enough grip on the elbow or whatever. So this one doesn't, and that's because of that problem with the elbow. Anyways, the bodies were improving over each figure that was released, and then you had the made figure, which was the best one so far at the point of me reviewing that figure. And the body was 100% good. Nothing was wrong with it. Everything was good with it. No problems with this one. Now the accessories. So she comes with 1, 2 pistols. And these also have that Buzz Lightyear color scheme. She also has a video game controller that's modeled after like an Xbox controller maybe. It does kind of have a frog face at the top there with the eyes, the smile, and the tongue sticking out right there. So that's kind of cool that they had that detail. And here's the back. So nicely painted. She also comes with a headset, headphones and microphone set. And again, you see the frog motif carried out in this accessory as well, even on the sides of the earphones there, both sides. And so this came out pretty good, I think. Then she has 4 extra hands on the figure. She has gripping hands for the guns and for the controller. She has 2 of these like Spider-Man or rock-on hands or whatever you want to call them, and then 2 relaxed hands. So that's all that's there on the first foam tray. The second foam tray is the one that has the bigger accessory. It also comes with this box with a question mark. I guess this is something for the robot hands to grab, like a video game power-up or something, Super Mario Bros. Style. So here's the backpack for the robot arms. So the arms actually go on top. So here's, again, the issue. We're having that issue again. It's falling apart very easy. And then we'll see. Yeah, so it doesn't really go in far enough, and it doesn't have enough traction or friction for it to really stay in there. So that is another problem. And yeah, it just falls. So now look at how small these straps are. And the jacket is kind of like puffy. So it does take some work. So after putting the backpack on, that's kind of what it looks like. And then you can move it around, right? It swivels right here. It hinges right here, and then it swivels on the end of that. And this just swivels, and then you get to the hand, the robot hand, which is on kind of it's not a ball joint, but it's a hinge, and then you can swivel on that. And then you get to the fingers, and all of those hinge right there, so that the bottom of the finger hinges and that thing always falls off. Alright, so not bad. It took a little longer than expected, but You know, it's not that bad, but you saw how finicky it is, and this is still not like secure. That finger is too loose. We can get her headphones on. She's ready to game. Maybe not. Alright, whatever. Alright, so there's a simple pose. So honestly, the figure itself is not that bad. I think it's pretty good. I think the made figure is still better, but I think this figure is just a little bit under the made figure. I don't like the way they designed this. I didn't like it when the pictures first came out. You know, I thought, like, that's kind of dumb. I just want the figure with everything else except the arms and the backpack, or they could redesign it, make it something different. Now, finally having this in hand, I like it even less. Like, they did a pretty bad job on engineering this, and it's really not fun to play with. And the figure just doesn't need it. I think the figure is good without that. Or if they could design, you know, something else for that. So that's kind of dumb. So that's what the hacker looks like next to the other figures in the wave. And then of course you can do head swaps. So here's the first head swap. This is the masked silk head sculpt from Marvel Legends. You're probably already familiar with that one, and you're probably also familiar with this one as well. I know a lot of people like this one. So that looks pretty good. And there's the Marvel Legends comic Black Widow head on it. The hands don't really hold the guns very well, so that's another thing that kind of disappoints me. And here's the old Marvel Legends unmasked silk head. And last one, here's the Marvel Legends Kitty Pryde head. So in conclusion, I really do like this figure. I think it came out really well. I like the outfit. I like the head sculpt a lot. I like the accessories, except for the backpack and the Doc Ock arms. I thought those were horribly done, and I would have rather the figure not come with that. But it's $100 on Big Bad, and they're going up to $105. So I don't think it's worth that much, but that's kind of how a lot of things are nowadays. It's a lot of money for something that's lower quality. I think the most important thing that plays a role in that is the devaluation of our dollars. I could go on and on about the US dollar and, you know, the federal government, but I won't do that. This is a video about toys, unless you want me to. So that's everything that I wanted to say about this figure. Let me know what you guys think about this figure or the line. Let me know if you're going to pick it up or if you have it, and if you have any problems with it, let me know in the comments. And just let me know anything in the comments. We can talk about whatever that you want to talk about. Also, check out my Instagram where I'll have pictures of this figure and other figures and the other Frontline Chaos figures, and whatever the figures I have, you can check it out there. That's all I got to say. I'll see you in the next one.